internally would own that and work with Tetra Tech. I mean, Mike might be a good person to kind of own that from a finance perspective, because I think most importantly, it's these items are closely tied to the budget, so it might make sense for him to be the owner of that. So just something I want to put on your radar.
Could I ask?
Yes, sir.
Add one thing to what you just said?
Yes.
In the past, even though we have had expensive things in the capital budget, we often don't get started on them until the year is half over or more, and they never get, sometimes never started, never completed, and they're rolling them over and rolling them over. So we've got to work on our timing on some of those things, so that we know that the board's approving and the word is go.
Get her done.
Yeah, and Chris and I talked about that. And
Get her done.
And I think what Chris is working on now is, so budget's been approved, we're going into our new fiscal year, we have this list of maintenance items, list of capitals. I think what Chris was working on is an actual plan with sequencing, because there's certain things that have to be done during certain times of the year, and so we want to make sure that we've got everything sequenced appropriately according to when they need to start, if there's dependencies, but also from a staff perspective. We need to make sure we've got staff available to be able to meet the resource requirements for all that. And I think Chris is, we've talked about that. I think that's something that you're looking at.
Yeah, we've been building the project manager, and I'll bring several of those to the next meeting.
And I think with staff reallocation of time and bringing new staff on, they're getting better at, trying to get projects up and running and done.
Well, and there's going to be times where we're really heavy on projects, and if we're ahead of that, we need additional staff, or we need to move some people around. At least we can be forward thinking and be able to plan for those things. So, the other thing is, I kind of going through this event last night, the Meet the Candidates. What I've noticed is we don't do as good a job celebrating and communicating the things that we've done on this board. Let's just look at last year as an example, because we started out with two new members. We've accomplished a lot last year. If you look at the past 2 years, with Chris coming on board and reorg and all the great things that Kenny's been doing on the utility side, we don't publicize that. So what I would like to do, and whether it's staff or we try to work on some kind of collaboration, I do applaud Kathleen for putting stuff in the different publications. Yeah, and I think that's great. But right now, what I'd love to see is, as we're coming out of our fiscal 2018, we really need to have a district summary, a list of all the things that we've done up to this point, and also a forecasting or a 2019 planning at a glance, so we can show our residents, now that we've passed this budget, here's at a high level all the things that we have planned, both on the maintenance side and from a capital and from a staff perspective, all the things that we're doing from policies and procedures and updating HR manuals and looking at adding staff and all those different things, because now that we've approved the budget, we've already kind of went tooth and nail and have some discussions on the percentage of assessments. So people now are, understand that assessments will be raised at X amount percent. But now we need to tell them the story on what we're doing with that. In maybe not necessarily in detail, but we need to tell them the story. So we need to celebrate our successes that we've done up to this point, but we also need to give good guidance on where we're going in the future. And I think that'll be important for us too in these workshops to make sure that we're on task, we know what we're doing, because there's also been some things delivered or distributed that may not tell the exact story of the things that we are doing on the board, what we have in flight, things that were considered. So I think it's just a good PR piece. And the other thing, Chris, if you could do me a favor, I had a couple people reach out to me around Mainscapes when they're doing Roundup or pesticide spraying. Okay. All right, so that's already taken care of. All right, that's the only thing I had on my list.
Mr. Guy?
I think we've made incredible progress tonight, and I'll go to Mrs. Flaherty.
Okay, I'm going to address Mr. Hall. When we were out going around, we were discussing some things that he had to put proposals for. And I think those proposals need to be brought to the board. One of them is to remove some equipment there that is going to be eventually be rotten, and Lee County's rotten.
Not my boat.
Not your boat. It's gonna deteriorate their pipes and stuff that are going to, and Lee County's gonna force us to remove them anyway. So we were talking about a proposal to remove them. And if the electricity goes off, we don't have a backup generator for that,
Home house.
thank you, pump house.
It's in the,
So,
it's in the budget, capital.
but I mean, that's something maybe even our reserves could use so that we're not waiting long for that. I'm just thinking ahead of time in case we get another hurricane, the one that's coming this way.
Good thinking.
It's not coming this way.
There is one.
There's one out.
Nope,
Yeah.
it isn't coming this way. I'm just saying.
Don't
it's not
underestimate
coming
Martin's
this way.
influence with Mother Nature.
Don't mess with a woman, and they're both women, right?
And I do not have anything, so is Tony available?
He's not available, but I can tell you what he said, which is, only a person who votes in favor of the original approved motion can move for reconsideration. Ed cannot move to reconsider, but if someone else makes the motion, he can vote on the motion.
Any second.
You have to be able to second it if you second the motion. If you're able to second the motion, you
You're
would,
able to make
you know,
it.
in
If
effect.
you
vote.
can't make.
No, she said you could vote.
But you.
I could second the motion, I can't make the motion.
Well, that's not what she said. She said you can't make the motion, but you can vote. She didn't say you could second. That's a
I
point of
look at
clarity.
it, I look at it, she didn't say she couldn't.
Then it wouldn't be able to be.
Well, I agree with what you said. This sets a precedent that is not good.
And that's why I think
I
we'd
think
be
somebody needs to
better,
re-examine this real close.
I think we'd be better off to wait till the next meeting when Tony's here, so we can have a full discussion.
And we did
of-
table it. So.
We've already moved the table.
Right. So let's make sure that the reconsideration is on the next agenda, Chris, please. And with that,
Move adjourned.
Yep.
we are adjourned.